everyone. I am Dr. R. Soumya, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today we are going to see the subject Sensors and Actuators. Subject code is AU3008. Unit 5 is Automatic Temperature Control Actuators. Under this we are going to see the topic Fixed and Variable Displacement Temperature Control. Let us see the working of the air conditioning system. It works like a pump. An air conditioner draws heat from the space and releases it outside. It consists of heat exchanger coil, compressor and mechanism that use refrigerant gas in the operation. There is an absorption of heat during the transition from liquid to a gas is a basic concept of physics that underlies the operation of air conditioning equipment. Practically, AC move heat from a room inside to its outside. This is the graphical representation of the air conditioning. The refrigerant initiates as low pressure, a low temperature liquid in the evaporator coil of the house. Here the heat from the room air is absorbed. In the meantime, heat absorption causes the refrigerant to change from a liquid to low pressure gas. A unit outside the home receives this gas after that. Here a compressor is utilized to rise the temperature and pressure of this gas refrigerant. It is then moved to the condensation coil, which discharges the heat that was previously trapped inside your house into the atmosphere. A fan pushes the air across the condenser for cooling and turning the refrigerant into a high pressure liquid. A cycle is then continued by reintroducing the refrigerant through the expansion valve into the house. Components of air conditioning system. Evaporator. An evaporator consists of a heat exchanger coil that gathers heat from the room surface. Because it is a part where the fluid refrigerant receives heat from the surrounding air and turns into a gas. This part is called an evaporator. Copper and aluminium are commonly utilized in construction because of their better heat conduction properties. Copper tube in the evaporator transport a refrigerant and when attached to the tube improve heat transmission from the refrigerant to the surrounding air. Next one is the refrigerant. When a gas moves through the AC heat exchanger coils, it absorbs heat from the air around it and releases it outside. The AC's refrigerant evaporates and condenses, reducing the temperature of the indoor air. Refrigeration cycle. The cycle has four basic processes: compression, condensation, expansion and evaporation. This is shown in the figure. Compression process, it is like the engine of cycle. The compressor draws the superheated refrigerant vapor through the suction pipe and begins compressing it. It produces very hot and very high pressure vapor during this process. Condensation process. Now here condenser job becomes into play. It turns gas into liquid, or we can say it condenses the refrigerant, transfer a heat from the refrigerant to the cooled outdoor air, whether the diffusion of excessive heat to the atmosphere takes place. Expansion process. The expansion device function as a catalyst, rapidly reducing the refrigerant pressure and enabling it to boil more easily in the evaporator. Evaporation process. The evaporation coil the ambient air by boiling the refrigerant that flows through it. This occurs when warm air passes over the evaporator coil while cold refrigerant follow through it. Next, what is the fixed displacement temperature control in the air conditioning? In an air conditioning system, fixed displacement temperature control refers to a system that uses the components with a fixed capacity, such as fixed speed compressor. This means that the system either operates at the full capacity or is completely off. In a fixed displacement compressor, the compressor moves a set amount of refrigerant per cycle to control temperature. The system cycles to the compressor on add of as needed. When cooling is needed, the temperature the compressor runs at full capacity, moving refrigerant through the system, which absorb heat and cools in the indoor air. When target temperature is reached, the compressor turn off, stopping refrigerant circulation. The indoor fan may continue to run, but the cooling stops until the temperature rises again. A fixed displacement pump has the set of flow rate. Every stroke of the motor moves the same amount of fluid. Fixed displacement pumps are simple, relatively inexpensive, easier to maintain. How it works? Uh, Thermostat sends temperature. The thermostat measures the room temperature and compare it to the set point. System cycles on off. If the room temperature is higher than the set point, the system turns on and operates at full capacity until the desired temperature is reached. Once the desired temperature is reached, the system turns off. In efficient operation, this on off cycling can lead to temperature swings and energy inefficient. The system may overcool the room and then cycle off, only to turn back on again when the temperature rises. Advantages: simple and reliable, lower cost. Disadvantage: inefficient temperature swings and increased wear and tear. Thank you.